Good day and welcome to SCO BRICS Insight, where we look at what's really going on in the world of the BRICS. Now, the year 2024 has been a momentous one for precious metals, particularly gold. During the year, the gold first consolidated its breakthrough of the psychological barrier of $2,000 per ounce. Then it traversed the $2,500 mark, with analysts now predicting the gold price in 2025 to exceed $3,000 due to concerns regarding the situation in global economies and the fact that gold is seen as a safe haven in times of economic turmoil and strife. Now, it's also worth noting that since time began, all those millennia ago, 220,000 tons of gold have been mined, and every single one of those still exists. Now, some of you who have followed my videos know that I have an in-depth knowledge of the commodities sector in Russia, particularly gold. So today I want to talk about a multi-billion-dollar gold project that's taking place in Russia, and it's located in an area that's very remote and has some of the harshest climate imaginable conditions for working in. I'd also like to point out that the gold mining sector in Russia is devoid of any of the global companies or the multinationals that tend to loot and steal all the precious metals from countries around the world. It's also worth looking at the fact that in 2025 Russia will overtake China in being the world's largest gold producer, with production of over 400 tons of annual production, and between them China and Russia will produce around 25% of the world's gold output. Now let's talk about the company and the project, which is the largest gold mining project taking place anywhere in the world today. And it's Polyus, and it's the project of Sukhoi Log in the Irkutsk region. And that's going to propel Polyus to be one of the world's 3 largest gold producers by volume, and the largest producer of gold in any single country, as the other miners are multinationals and mine across different countries, where Polyus is purely a full Russian company. It was actually listed in London, but now it's purely only listed in Russia. Now, before I continue, I'd like to make an appeal. If you like and enjoy my videos, you can help me fund the channel and my website scobricsinsight.com to further develop it. Now, you can do this by making a small donation, which can be done by clicking on the thanks button at the bottom of the video screen. Now, everybody who donates does get a personal thank you from me, and I'm thanking you all now for that. Now, Polyus plans to invest $6 billion into the Irkutsk project by 2030, and it will also, having added up the $1.6 billion already, it takes it to 7.6. Now, let's be honest, with gold price going north and the US dollar going south, it's not exactly a risky investment borrowing money to produce gold. It's actually a no-brainer. Now, approximately $1.56 billion of the total investment has been allocated to the construction of a new gold extraction plant, as well as the purchase of materials and equipment. Now, this plant actually basically crushes the ore or the rock and is then put through various machines that extract the small amounts of gold from all the rest of the elements. I mean, the plant will have a capacity of 34 million tons of ore, with an estimated production of 2.3 to 2.8 million ounces of gold. Now, they're spending another $1.8 billion in the creation of infrastructure, including the expansion of the Taximo logistics complex, building roads, warehouses, power lines, water treatment systems, etc. Now, the mining by the open cast quarry and the tailings facility is going to cost about $1 billion in investment. Now, the latter will include the construction of a dam, a pulp pipeline and a water drainage system. Drainage station, plus the company's providing approximately $900 million to provide support for the project at all stages, including design, procurement, construction, pre-operational testing. Now, one of the things that was interesting was the source of the financial investment was not actually revealed by the Polyus management. They had a briefing for investors on 10th of December, and the Polyus Vice President, Peter Puhunda, who handles the finance, revealed that the company is exploring a range of project financing options with various equity and borrowed fund ratios. However, those with the knowledge of the gold sector in Russia are well aware that the quasi-state bank VTB, plus the national saving bank Sberbank's investment arm, SBR&x Invest, are very active in the gold sector. So you can pretty much guess where the money came from. Given the current gold price and Polyus' all-in sustaining cost of $700 per ounce and the obviously huge profitability of the project, raising the capital is not actually going to be a problem, is it? Now, the development of Sukhoi Log will enable the company to double its gold production, reaching a peak of 5 million ounces per year at, let's say, $3,000 per ounce. Wow. That will establish Polyus as one of the leading gold miners, certainly in the number 2 or number 3, and unlike others, it only operates in Russia, and its shares are no longer listed internationally, just in Russia. Now, the Sukhoi Log deposit, which is in the Bodaibo region of Irkutsk, is the largest undeveloped deposit in the world. The current data estimates that the reserves amount to 43.5 million ounces or 1,233 tonnes of gold. Now, the deposit was actually discovered back in 1961, but they didn't do much there simply because it was, back in the Soviet Union. You also have to understand it's in the arse end of nowhere. I mean, literally the arse end of nowhere. So all sorts of factors were involved. I mean, several dozen technological samples of ore were examined by Soviet and then Russian institutes, and they did all sorts of feasibility studies going back. I remember back in the middle 90s that they were talking that the feasibility studies for the Sukhoi Log project it was ongoing. I mean, the preliminary study that Polyus is using now was compiled in 2021. Now, the data they presented indicates that the Sukhoi Log deposits, according with the JORT code, which is the Australasian code for geological exploration and valuation, increased from 40 million ounces to 43.5 million ounces as of December last year. However, there is more. The average gold content in the ore, the feasibility study in 2021 said, was 2.3 grams per tonne, and the updated is now 2.8 for the first 10 years of operation, not counting the launch year. So that might not sound a lot, but with a gram of gold being $150 a gram, 25% increase in the gold content is not an insignificant amount. Now, according to Polyus' CEO Alex Vostokov, this is highly encouraging indicator, but it is given the global average of new deposits for gold is 1.3 grams per tonne. Yeah, that's 1.3 grams of every tonne of rock that's removed. And it's thanks to the latest technology that such tiny amounts of gold can be recovered and in places where the most inhospitable climates are happening. Plus the dates for the full start of operations have been revised. Now the time frame, it's already started, but the full production will be in 2028. Now, he said, we're pleased to announce that the pilot industrial operation has already begun, which means that they're gearing themselves up. He said they've also produced the first ton of gold at the deposit, and that was from ore that was delivered to the neighbouring Verenskaya gold recovery plant, which has been built in that particular deposit. But the key project parameters are still unchanged. I mean, they're building the one building with 2 production lines, but they've actually shifted from Western equipment to use domestic and friendly country equipment, which comes like India, China, etc. And you have to understand that, because China has great expertise in minerals extraction, being involved and global leader in extracting rare earth metals and other minerals from ore. Now, Glushko has indicated that Sukhoi Log is going to implement gravity-flotation enrichment, which was previously tested at the Verenskaya plant. So what this means is the company has had to revise the type of equipment used in its cases and increasing the quantity in its new layout. Now, the number of gravity concentrators, which is where you chuck in the ore and the liquids, etc., and out comes the gold at the other end in a liquid format, has doubled. Now they're now looking at 6 excavators with 50 metre berths and replacing that with 50 to 90 buckets. Modification for the dump truck fleet, they're now lifting the capacity of 300 tonnes, and they're moving from 6 to 110 vehicles capable of carrying that amount. I mean, that's a huge number in a fleet. Jesus, what a day that's going to be. So despite the modify the equipment and the wear, they're still looking at processing 34 million tons of gold, of ore containing gold. The Polyus has plans also to open two more deposits. These are at the Chertovo, Carito and Chabaltan, and they're not that far from the Verinsky, which is only 150 kilometers. It doesn't sound a lot, but it is in Russian terms. And they're bringing on another 3 million ounces. So basically you're looking at 300,000 ounces per year and the capital expenditure of another billion. Now, when you get to Russia's Far East and places like Chukotka, Khabarovsk, and you're talking minimal populations and places where the mineral wealth of Russia is the greatest and its worst climate. So as you can see, Russia's also the world's major producer of silver as well as gold and as well as platinum and other particular metals. So the funding of 7.6 billion is actually not that particularly large. If you look at how it could allow it to double its gold production by 2030. And Russia's Polyus becomes one of the world's leading gold producers. And the London Bullion Market Association, which banned Russian gold from being available, is now looking rather stupid. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. If you want to help me, click on the thanks button at the bottom of the screen and make a donation. See you all again soon. Thanks.